Jen,
Yes.
why are you mad?
I'm not mad. I just think the fact that I'm sitting here at my desk wearing sunglasses is fucking ridiculous. And
Okay.
it's all because of Airbnb allowing people to prioritize the place looking pretty over functionality. Because in this place, like the sun, like let me explain Seattle on the solstice, which was yesterday.
Damn.
The sun comes up at 4:30 in the morning and doesn't set until after 9. So there's like no darkness here. These people have given us blinds that are completely see-through. See? You can see me right through these motherfuckers. And so like I'm trying to sleep. I'm having to wear sunscreen to bed. And now I'm sitting at the desk until about 10:30 every morning. Like I'm in sunglasses because I can't see my computer screen and there's nowhere else for me to go. So it's just like, yes, this place is pretty, but I feel like every Airbnb host should have to live in their units for at least a month to understand all the stupid shit that they're doing to the people that are paying them. And these blinds are just, I can't. And I'm still here for another week. So I will be here in sunglasses for the first half of the show. I'm not Stevie Wonder. I'm not blind. I'm just staying in a stupid Airbnb.
The joke probably hit you and you wanted to, try to soften that. But I'm glad to hear that is not the case, that this is just malfeasance going on with the Airbnb.
Or the solstice.
That is the case. Andrew Heaton, your microphone is not on.
Try it now.
You know what? It's okay. I probably shouldn't have done that joke anyway.
Probably shouldn't have made the domestic violence joke.
Yeah.
I think it picked up on mine though.
It did.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just an Airbnb situation. So
I thought you just looked cool. I thought you were just really stoked on the World Cup.
well, that is why I got these glasses. I went to the watch party here in Seattle. The USA played Australia here in Seattle. And so we went out and hit the town that day, and I'm so happy we did. That was such an amazing experience. Like, we got off the water taxi, got swooped up in a march with the fans we didn't know it was like organized, but like the fans decided to march together to the stadium. And so we marched with them and then went out to the waterfront. We're like, Seattle did a really good job of making everyone feel safe, but they only put up 2 screens in all of downtown. So I watched the game with like literally thousands of people trying to watch one screen. Like that was real stupid. But it just felt so amazing to be out there with all of these Americans, because all the Aussies were inside the stadium, obviously. So it was all Americans, like 100%. Cheering together for a change. Like I've been in so many marches in the last 10 years, like protesting shit. And this time it was just all fun. And even like for sports, like you guys know, I go to football games all the time, but there's always like an animosity there, which is part of the fun. But like my team is playing your team and there's this division always. There was no division. It was just USA chants and high fives and silly outfits, and it was the best time. So, yeah. And I got these great glasses for the occasion.
And we won 2-0.
You sure did.
2-0 on the pitch against the Socceroos. That's what they called them.
Jen, meanwhile, so I did an interview from Justin's place just before we started. Can I borrow the head?
You can look that way.
Oh, can I?
Yeah.
Can I borrow the headphones for a second, Justin?
Sure.
So when I wear this ridiculous ice cream salesman outfit, but I put headphones on, I look like I am an announcer at a cricket match.
You do?
Like I look. Later today, the Tigers from Pendleton will be playing I could, whole new persona unlocked.
Well, good. I look forward to hanging out with that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy that you're in my seat, Andrew.
Yeah, I'm in the leg chair.
I was not pleased with the way that Australia conducted themselves after the game was out of hand.
Because of the chants?
No, they were on the pitch. On the pitch. They were a little aggressive. I felt like they were trying to get our boys into yellow card situations, possibly getting them suspended. A lot of it's a prison colony after all, so you can't expect too much from the Australians. But I was not a fan.
Well, here's the problem. As someone who had to watch it from hundreds of yards away from the screen, I actually couldn't really tell what was going on in the game. I knew that the goals happened because thousands of people cheered and I cheered with them, which was the case for most of the people at the watch party. So
Yeah.
I don't really know what the behavior was.
No, now there's a fairly meaningless game because we're winning our group. And so we're already on to the knockout round.
Who are we playing next?
Turkey.
It's funny you should ask that because I don't know who made this decision, but we're referring to them as Turkey.
I'm not.
Would it be Turkey?
Yeah. You know that NATO member, Turkey? You know?
Okay. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they've played like dog shit. So I'm not calling them Turkey. They would have had to be better at soccer for me to call them Turkey. In fact, the way that they've played, that shit's Constantinople again.
Here's how to get Americans interested in soccer. Because as much fun as this is, it's still like dwarfed by the NCAA and various other franchises that are going on. We care more about American football and basketball than we do soccer. But it'd be great if we got into soccer. So here's my idea.
Yeah.
Who is the greatest nemesis America's ever had? Like the one power worthy of fighting America. What was that?
USSR.
No,
England.
it was America. America was the answer to that question. America's only worthy nemesis has been America. So here's what I suggest.
Yeah.
I think we should have the Union square off against the Confederates for soccer, just to get everybody really into it for a little bit. I think you get people watching soccer.
That's kind of happening in college football because for a long time, the power conference was the SEC, the Southeastern Conference. And that's like deep South. You're talking about Alabama, Clemson, or not Clemson. That's ACC. Anyway, all these Southern towns. But the last few national championships have been won by the Big Ten. We're talking about Penn State, Michigan, Indiana. There's a little Mason-Dixon thing going on between the SEC and the Big Ten. They really don't like each other and they don't really talk about it, but we could put it on Main Street. I like that idea.
Yeah. No, I think they get into it. They get it. By the way, that goes all the way back. So if next week for the 4th of July, I, of course, will be doing a massive monologue comparing George Washington to Oliver Cromwell, naturally, right? Mm-hmm. And going back in it, man.
Where?
Huh?
Where?
On the political orphanage.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Like,
So not next week, the following week.
I don't know where, like, okay, so this is a thing that you do all the time or this
no, I was just joking. This is going to be my 4th of July, 250th anniversary.
Gotcha.
America monologue is going to be a long-winded historical diatribe comparing Cromwell to Washington. But in the course of researching all of that, like New England and the South have never agreed on a goddamn thing ever when there's been any kind of domestic disagreement.
No.
Like not one time. Like they'll agree to fight the Nazis together. They'll agree to fight the British together, but the second that there's any disagreement whatsoever, they've never agreed on it. Like going back to the English Civil War, like New England and Virginia are on opposite sides of that. It's amazing how long that conflict goes.
Yeah. What is it? Why are mass holes so disagreeable, Jen?
What's that?
Why are mass holes so disagreeable?
I don't know. The Scots don't seem to think so. They all seem to have a real good time together.
They did. We're kind of eating into our first segment, but yeah, no.
Whatever.
Although now they've gone to Miami. They're playing in Miami now. So the Scots have taken over South Florida, which is really, really exciting.
That could be the apocalypse. If Scotland merges with South Florida, I don't know what kind of weird Dune Arrakis warriors will come out of that.
Yeah, a place where there are clubs that open at 1:00 in the morning in Miami.
Yeah.
they close at 8:00 in the morning. Bars close at 8:00 in the morning in South Florida. And it's really exciting. I think it is a great place for the Scottish to be because there'll be yet another community that doesn't speak English. But you can get along well.
Well, there's going to be quite the clash of civilizations here in Seattle on Friday. Unfortunately, we have to leave that day. I almost want to change my tickets because the game that's going to be played here is Iran versus Egypt.
I'm so excited.
Wow.
It's going to be, hold on, it gets better.
This is the best part.
It's the same day as our Pride Parade.
Nice.
They petitioned to change the venue. Iran and Egypt petitioned to change the venue because this was labeled, this was like part of every city, bids, and they worked through FIFA and everything. And like part of Seattle's deal was that you do have to integrate our Pride events into the World Cup stuff. And so there is going to be pride integration into, I don't know exactly what it's going to be. A lot of this is very standardized. And when you watch enough World Cup games, they're literally the exact same thing from like the moment that everybody walks out. But yeah, it's going to be gay. It's going to be really, really gay.
If you've never been to Seattle, the downtown is very small. So it's just the stadium is very much in downtown. You can walk to it from everything. So it's unavoidable that you're going to have the soccer traffic and the pride traffic. Even if they tried to separate them, you really can't because the places where they would put this parade are right next to the stadium. So God, like Jen, I would love to go and see what that's going to look like.
This sounds fun, but can we consider that there might be some unforeseen eventualities of having these cultures come into contact? So, for example, I'm not rooting for this, but let's say that a lot of the Iranians happen to get up close and personal with a gay pride parade. Mm-hmm. And turns out some of them are deep down gay, and so they become Republican senators. Had you thought about that? I don't want that happening.
That is a risk we're going to have to take to host the World Cup.
From Austin, Texas, my name is Justin Robert Young. Joining me in studio in Austin, Texas,
I'm Andrew Heaton. We're back.
And from a very, very, very sunny office in Seattle,
I'm Jennifer Brining.
And we're not wrong on this edition of the program. We're going to be talking about more World Cup stuff, specifically the Ballad of FreddyLA7, a viral Twitter account that has seen the lows, the highs, and everything in between of viral American fame. Also, the United Kingdom. Now official today, Keir Starmer announcing that he is resigning, setting a timetable for a replacement. This will be the 7th prime minister in the United Kingdom since 2016. Why are they so unhappy? And what will ever bring peace to that island? That and your emails. Let's go ahead and get on into Freddie. At first, the viral German World Cup tourist, FreddyLA7, was charming. He seemed to be discovering America on his own, taking pictures at Buc-ee's, Chili's, Waffle House, Taco Bell, and suburban Georgia mini mansions, Ella Langley on country music radio, and other bits of overlooked Americana. His 6-week trip to North America to support his country became the most famous of many European, Asian, and African fans on social media, enjoying some of the simple pleasures of America, Canada, and Mexico, who are hosting the World Cup. But things escalated for Freddie when NFL legend J.J. Watt found out that he'd be headed to his hometown of Houston. Watt helped arrange a 5-star stay at the Post Oak Hotel. He hooked up a tour of NASA, including letting Freddie and his 2 friends call astronauts currently in space. And even breakout country star Ella Langley, who they'd been hearing on the radio, invited the boys to a concert in Oklahoma City and backstage for a meet and greet, which is about the time that Freddie crossed over from being lovable underdog to something else. Old tweets of his supporting Donald Trump and criticizing Hillary Clinton in 2016 resurfaced. A trip to the Houston Police Department made some believe that Freddie's entire trip was a right-wing psyop. And some of his newfound following began to resent the dozens of brands, celebrities, and millionaires that have since come to begin fawning over him. All of this came to a head over the weekend, when a very American problem befell Freddie and his friends. His American Airlines flight during the summer got canceled. That was going to deny Freddie the chance to go see his team Germany play the Ivory Coast in Toronto. So, did he do what most Americans would do and just head to an Applebee's, slam some Dollaritas, and watch his game? No. Multiple airlines and private jet brokers competed with each other to get Freddie and his friends to Toronto as fast as possible, which they did. Freddie got to the game. He watched a thrilling German comeback over Ivory Coast, but it seems that a Rubicon has been crossed. Jen, let me ask you, viral fame, accidental opulence, instant resentment, what is the lesson of FreddyLA7?
Welcome to America, kid. I mean, in a way, like, that is what can happen here, you know? You kind of get the icks from the commercialization of this guy's experience, but I can't hate on him for taking all of the perks that are coming with his newfound fame and then getting stomped on because he got this newfound fame. Like, this is how it goes. And so I think he's just having a very American influencer experience, for better or worse. But I can't hate on the kid. Like, if someone's going to offer me a free private jet, am I going to say no? Absolutely not.
He
like, why
is.
should he?
So he's apparently turning down private jets. JJ Watt,
Why?
who is a problem here. Let me just also say that JJ Watt is part of the issue because he's the one that elevated this, and now he's playing his like official or unofficial agent. He has said that he has turned down multiple private jet offers to go to various places throughout America, and the most opulent thing that he's turned down was a $28,000 single shot of whiskey that somebody offered him. There's apparently a whiskey for which it is $28,000 for a single shot. And somebody offered him a private jet to fly out to take that shot. And Freddie said, no, that's too.
That sounds so
crazy.
opulent. I would be worried that the man was going to kill me. Like, if somebody said, Heaton, we're going to fly you on a private jet for a $28,000 shot of whiskey, I'd be like, this man is going to hunt me for sport. Like, I would, if it's right in the room, I would drink it. But if I have to fly out there, I'd question it.
And I guess I'm just an American whore because I would break my sobriety so fast to try that shot.
Yeah.
That sounds so fun. Yeah, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, lean in, kid. Like, do it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I do think the backlash has to be probably scary for him. I don't know. It's all a part of it, I guess, of having the World Cup in our crazy country.
It's a fascinating psychological study because everybody loved him when he was doing things that we took for granted and being very excited about it. And then as soon as he started to do things that we can't do,
yeah,
we're like, fuck this guy. This guy sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
he's been an elitist for 1 week and we're like, fuck you, man.
I know. And he's not even like, you know, this is going to go away. Like, eventually it's going to be over, or he'll start dating Ella Langley and put an anchor baby in her or something. But like, there's no, like, it's, I don't know. It might be my favorite in general. My favorite story over the last 2 months is just the fact that all these excited tourists are just thrilled about America and they're just really excited about it. I love it. It's my favorite thing.
Me too.
There was a moment on Saturday when I was talking to Ashley and I was like, so what's in your algorithm? Like, what are the things that are in your algorithm? And she's like, it's all these excited tourists. And so the fact that it's into her algorithm too, it's like, this is great. This is awesome. Just a bunch of Scottish people being blown away by, Chili's endless basket of chips and salsas.
Well, and Joe and I were talking about it when we were in that march. And because obviously we travel to new places all the time, specifically in Europe. And they have such established cultures and norms. And there is this like pressure to try to conform to it. Here in the United States, we are a melting pot of literally everyone. And so I think it's easier to feel welcomed here because you can do whatever you want to do. You have a culture, you want to keep it here. Like, okay, fine.
What kind of food you got? Are your women pretty? That's fine. Come on in.
Like I think we are extraordinarily friendly and welcoming to other cultures because we're so exposed to them. Yeah. And I know that like when I'm overseas, I miss Americans. Like we know that I'm annoyed by so much about our country and just like, even like the watch parties, right? Like putting up 2 screens in all of downtown is such an America thing to do because Joe's theory on this is that they didn't want people not going to the bars. But in these places where they're advertising the watch parties, they had 30 vendors all set up. So it's like they take care of the selling shit. They just forgot to put up the screen so that we could watch the game. That's such an America thing to do.
Honestly, I think that's
That's
my
a
opinion.
city decision whether to permit it or not. Like if you're saying you're shutting down Pioneer Square to have a watch party, have more than one screen. I think this is very much in their control and it would make a lot of sense. It's shit
I
like
agree
that.
with you.
But the Americans, I always miss us. Like I love us. And I think the world is now figuring out why you put up with Americans all over the world. I do think that we're good people.
This is something that I observe in Britain all the time, but I think it probably applies to much of the world. The British really dislike America as a concept, but they love us one-on-one.
Yeah.
Like you get a drink in British people and they'll be like, I like you. I don't understand. I have mixed thoughts on America, but I like you. And you like talk to them, what do you not like about America? Oh, and then they'll give you the whole list. And you're like, do you know any? Oh yes, we love the Millers. They come over, they visit us. We've been to their wedding. Like everybody likes individual Americans. They just don't like the concept. And the concept really, they just hate Texas. That's what they hate.
You want to know what? I'm going to call bullshit on that. I saw a clip and I'll send it to you guys. In fact, you want to know what, Will? I'll send it to you. You play it right now.
For us, Texas is more than a state, it's a mythology. Before most of us met an American, we met Texas. Through westerns, through stories, and yes, Stone Cold Steve Austin. When we were growing up, we didn't want to be Earls of Downton Abbey. We wanted to be cowboys, like you, running around the playground on imaginary horses. That's why when Brits arrive in Texas, it makes us emotional. Because Texas is the America we were promised as children. It's the hats, the boots, the barbecue, the impossibly giant skies, just the feeling that anything is possible and you can be whoever you want. Seeing and feeling all of that instantly takes us back to being kids, which is why it's so cool to see my fellow countrymen in Dallas. It's just a bunch of Brits living out their childhood fantasies. They're not discovering Texas, they're just finally finding out it's real.
The clip is a dude British guy, getting half weepy, talking about how what Americans don't realize is that when Brits are out playing, when they're kids at school, they're playing cowboys just like Americans are. And so when they come to places like Texas, it's a mythical moment for them because they realize that a place like this is real. And he's talking about Fort Worth, Texas. He's walking in the Dallas Metroplex and he's getting weepy about the mystical relationship that he has with Texas. So it's like, I understand that there's an element of cosmopolitan London and everything, but I think that there is a deep, if not majority of even England that's like, no, you want to know what? Like, I like Westerns. I like this idea that like, wait, hold on. People really talk. And part of it is the fact that we own culture and that there are slow Southern drawls in movies and television shows that are produced at a pretty high volume. And so people around the world fall in love with it. And so they want to come to see where those people came from. But I don't know. I think Texas has been a huge winner because it has Houston and Dallas that are hosting it. And people are freaking the fuck out, dude. They love rodeos. They love line dancing. Yep. They love barbecue. Like Texas is a huge winner.
This is amazing. You're allowed to get excited? I've never seen sober excitement before in my entire life. Hailing from Chiltington. Okay, so on the note of this Freddy guy, this is what I thought was going to happen, Justin. When you messaged and you'll explain all this, I went, oh no, because what I thought was Freddy was gonna the whole thing's a scam. He's from Oshkobagon, Wisconsin, and is just pulling it over. And then of course the end result would be sexual assault. That is not what happened. It's just a German that scaled the heights of Twitter and social media and is now getting money from it. So I'm not that bothered. The bit, if there's any darkness,
getting free things.
Getting free things. No, go get it. It's your Pizza Rat moment, dude. I'm glad that you were able to get the net. Everybody should have a net ready for if Pizza Rat descends on them. No, the bit that I think is a little bit disturbing is not him. If I were in his situation, I would be flying around on private jets and having sex with Eli Langley. Yeah. He sounds like a great dude.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff, right? No, the bit that I find a little bit disturbing is there is this weird tendency. I don't know if this is, I think it's an internet thing. Maybe it's a human thing. Maybe it's an American thing. I don't know. There is this weird tendency to go, now that someone's really big, I'm kind of bored. Let's ruin their life.
Yeah.
Like that is like, do you remember Ken Bone?
Yeah.
What a lovely man Ken Bone appeared to be. For anybody unfamiliar with this, back in 2016, Trump and Hillary Clinton on national television are at each other's throats during a debate. it is a very tense moment in a very tense election in a very tense country where, the Republicans are shouting, lock her up outside. Hillary's calling half the country deplorable. It's not pleasant. And then like the last question of the evening is Ken Bone, who's this lovely man and a mustache.
Rotund man in a red sweater and a mustache.
Yeah, who looks like he's probably, on a deep spiritual level, at some other existence, he was absolutely an assistant manager of a Radio Shack at some point. And he just smiling gets up and goes, hi, I'd like to know what your positions on energy are. I think it's very important to the economy. Hadn't made up his mind yet. And there was a 2-day period where everybody loved Ken Bone. And then there was a week where everybody like went through Reddit to find he knew what he said that he finds like he's aroused by pregnant women. He thinks they're beautiful human submarine. Oh, he's a pervert. And it's like, there's this bizarre when and
now he could be senator from Maine.
Ken Bone, is he running? No, absolutely, yeah.
I mean, the stuff that Ken Bone said is G-rated compared to what Plattner said that women deserve to be raped.
Like Cardinal Wolsey back in the day, going up the river on the barge, everybody's cheering, and then the second he's out, it's like, yes, let's see the man fall. There's something about wanting to see people fall that's latent to us.
Yeah, I think it's. I wonder if we're going to make it an American thing. Is that there is a lot of class transition that is available in America. Like you can go from very poor to very rich if we're just going to use the global scale easier than anywhere else in the world. Like you can go from making minimum wage to making $1 million.
Haktua.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Like, that was some random lady from coal country who like said something.
Made a blowjob
vulgar,
joke and then became a millionaire.
And then became a fucking, massive media sensation. Although she's going through her own, rise and fall, as it turns out.
Yeah.
Not exactly Warren Buffett when it comes to money management, but I think that there's an element where we kind of feel by and large, I think Americans are pretty good at not letting our crabs in the barrel instinct, like want to grab everybody down. I don't think that we do it kind of systemically, but when somebody really pops, boy, do we kind of get a little butthurt about it. We get a little like, why them? Why not me?
I think it's probably a human thing. Like did you guys read Jonathan Haidt's book? Somebody will email me about this, but when he talks about moral foundations theory, do you all know what I'm talking about?
No.
So it's great for people unfamiliar with this. Jonathan Haidt, great thinker. He wrote a book. I can't believe I've forgotten the name of it. It made a big impact on me. But
obviously
he I slept really poorly. I can't even see straight right now. I feel very groggy. Anyway, moral foundations theory, this idea that everybody has, in effect, moral taste buds. There are 6 or 7 of these things that people are all responsive to, but we're responsive at different levels. So everybody reacts to suffering, but some people react stronger. In the same way that spicy food's spicy to everybody, but some people can't handle spicy food, some people can handle spicy food. Everybody reacts to disgust, but some people will go into a very nasty bathroom and go, oh, that was gross. Some people will be retching, right? So there are these different moral flavors that impact people at different heights. And according to him, what your flavor profile is dictates whether you are progressive or conservative or libertarian. If you're progressive, you're very, very high in terms of your reaction to suffering. If you're conservative, you're more kind of balanced on everything. If you're libertarian, you're just high in terms of antipathy to tyranny. And so building on that, I think that there is a human tendency to go, we don't want anybody to get too high. We're a tribal species. We're supposed to live in groups of 150 people. If anybody starts getting particularly big in terms of assets or clout or respect, there's an element of us that goes, no, pull them back now. We want them to be
closer to the mean.
Yeah.
Well, especially if what we liked the guy for was the fact that he was an average person just like us getting excited about Taco Bell. And now we're talking about private jets, which I don't think I'll ever go on a private jet. I just don't think that's in the cards for me. So he went from being one of us to one of them very quickly. And that's probably the.
Yeah, what else was he going to do, though?
Wait, hold on. We need a private jet. Someone's got to be a private jet.
Hey, for the record, like you can be one of us on a private jet. Like if the entire thing was just at the end of this experience, he got to ride a private jet. That was the only bit. Then he'd be the cool guy that got to ride a private jet, doing the selfie of this is amazing. I'm on a private jet.
But he also got like a baller hotel room from JJ Watt. Like we don't know football players who are buying us rooms. Like it's the combination of all of it. You went from being average guy to like guy who knows celebrities and is getting free shit, which is not just free. You're not getting a free taco. You're getting a free jet ride.
Yeah.
Like that's above average. And I think that's probably where the backlash comes from. And it's jealousy. It's all based on jealousy.
Good for that guy.
It is jealousy.
Can I say one more thing about the World Cup?
Yes, please.
Like the experience of being there? Because I also think that one of the reasons that we're seeing, and you're hearing it in their comments, but the people that are coming here and saying how pleasantly surprised they are, I think a lot of that is for the last year and a half. Justifiably, they have been concerned about coming here. There are people that haven't been able to come into the United States that have been turned around. We had a referee in the World Cup who was not allowed to participate in the games. There's fans that aren't allowed to come here. There are people that got detained. There was one of the players was detained for 7 hours. So it's like that stuff's very real. And I think the fact that it hasn't been as bad as they anticipated, and I was very happy to the point of like moved to tears to see that there were people that came out to the watch parties and to the march with banners that said, ICE is not welcome here, you are. And so I think that the American people are also trying to show our visitors that we welcome them, whether our administration does or not. And that's been very moving to me to know that my people are saying like, we want you, like, welcome to our country. We are all the same people. Like Iranians are apparently feeling quite welcome here. That's making me very proud to be an American, to show that like we don't support this. We are aware of it and we are trying to welcome people as best we can. So this has made me feel very good about the country, especially having seen it, like standing side by side with foreigners and seeing what they're seeing. It made me very proud of my fellow Americans.
Yeah, I don't know what the European expectation was because I'm not European. I will say every time that I'm in Europe and I'm in a bar and I'm watching their news that they have up there, they always have like an America segment.
Yeah.
No matter what country I'm in Europe, it's usually toward the end of the news. Very rarely is it good news.
Almost
very
never.
Very rarely is it like, and in the America segment, women are pretty, or like, you know,
or women lost their reproductive rights today.
More efficient in the United States this year. That's great.
Yeah, they're not like, oh, here's all the cool new technology and air conditioning. Like it's always like, it's a Trump thing 9 times out of 10. It's whatever like the most hysterical social media talking point is like the number one thing that they see. So I don't blame them for believing that they were all going to get gang tackled by ICE and thrown in a detention center, because I do. I mean,
I'm not going to call them hysterical because that's their expectation, because that's happened to people. So I'm not going to call them hysterical. Like, they're covering the news, which is real. Like, we did lose reproductive rights here. We do have people in indefinite detention in the United States on our soil for months, if not years at this point, or year and a half, that are basically shadow people. We don't know their names. We don't know their stories. We don't know when they're getting out. Like, all of that is real. And I think that should be reported. I'm not going to call it hysterical.
Okay.
But
that's not
because I know. But the fact that is the news that they're getting, and then they're coming here and finding that it's not like, I did not see a single ICE agent outside of that stadium.
Were you expecting to?
Not at the USA game, but I am going to go out there on Wednesday for the Qatar versus Bosnia game and just kind of see. I don't know. But
do you think ICE agents are going to like sniff them or like ask
I
for
think
their papers
ICE
in
agents,
the crowd? Like,
ICE agents being at the stadium is one of the things that they were afraid of, that they were told was possible. I mean, there was a whole thing about it. So yeah, the fact that they're not doing that, I'm saying is a good thing. Like, you're not seeing the things that they were afraid of, that they were told to be afraid of. So it's like, I went to the stadium, they were not there. I think that the people who are afraid of this are pleasantly surprised on an even more heightened level. Like, yeah, they like our food and shit like that, but they also don't feel physically threatened in a way that they were told that they might. And I think that's a good thing.
Who told them?
The fucking media and the Trump administration by actually doing the things they were afraid of.
Well, yeah, I don't know. We're gonna
Listen, foreigners.
I want to keep
foreigners.
it positive.
Listen.
I know we want to have all happy talk, Justin, but like these are real things that are happening.
I'm not saying that they're not happening. I do think that we can very easily conflate conversations that we can have, in a good and complex manner in terms of like internal immigration enforcement without it bleeding into the idea that we are arresting people that are here to come see the World Cup for, a contest of who can round up the most foreigners.
Well, that's what people were afraid was going to happen because a year ago, there were German tourists that were getting detained for days for no reason. So it's like people still bought their tickets. They still came. They were apprehensive. And what I'm saying, I actually think that this is a positive comment, that the things they were afraid of are not happening. And the whole world is finding that out. So
I agree.
Yeah.
World, listen, we would love for you to come visit. America wants to be good neighbors with you. And I will add to that if you are smart, rich, strong, or hot, you can move here.
I swear to God, I was like, I tried to think of a funny way to tweet this, but I didn't want to start the more serious conversation of like, if Biden had kept the border closed when Biden came in, if he had not opened up the border and all this happened like in 2026, even if Trump were president now, I feel like he would have put up a Twitter poll, which would have given all the influencers visas. Like, were you a British person who ate brisket and were like, oh my God, oh my days. Like visa for you. Like a hot Swedish chick who liked Wi-Fi on the plane, you get a visa. African guy who said the best steak of his life was at Longhorn Steakhouse, you get a visa. Like we would have just been tossing him
Very
out.
much in favor of this, by the way. All of those hit the criteria that I've established.
There was an Aussie couple I saw that was literally crying in their car because an Alabama diner was so nice to them. They were like, they're apparently this. I don't know. Or nobody. This is wow. This gets into the tipping thing. Everybody is like, oh, I wonder why everybody's so nice at restaurants here in America.
Maybe I think
you cut them a little off the top, and next thing you know, everybody's really fucking nice.
I think part of that's cultural too, though. So like one of the things that I like about New York is I think New York is deeply egalitarian, and I really like this about New York. I do not find that when I go to New York and I'm eating at a diner that they are swooning over me, and I kind of enjoy that because the waiter will be like, yeah, like, what, you want a bagel? Fucking order already.
Yeah.
Like, and I enjoy that. That's fine. Because the guy's like, you know better than me. Like, that's true. That's absolutely true. I think that there is a warmth, particularly in middle America, which is where these people were visiting, that is just a cultural thing. And I've argued with my New York friends about this, where they'll go, we were in the South and everybody was really nice, but it's just because they wanted our money. And I'm like, or they're really a miserable person and they're just happy. And they were just being nice to you. Like, if you told them that you were having a kid or something, they would have been like, congratulations, and like giving you a car. Like, it doesn't have to be duplicitous.
There was a great clip that I saw of a British couple that went to some deli in New Jersey. And the guy was like straight out of Central Casting, like, hey, what are we ordering today? Huh? What are you doing? The chicken palm. Where you from? England? Like, hey, who's your girl? Who's your girl? Hey, you better be nice to her. Like, and then wound up paying for their food at the end. And they were like, just, bashful and British. And it was adorable. It was great. I don't know. You want to know what? I'm all in on the World Cup. I don't know if it should happen anywhere else. It should just happen in America every 4 years.
You know what? I agree. The World Cup's here. It's now the American Cup.
They're blown away by our stadiums. For some reason, they didn't think that we would have these incredible stadiums. We put a lot of fucking
public tax dollars into them, so I should sure hope they are.
Yeah, but look at what it's doing. It's actually helping our reputation in the world because these people are showing up and they're like, they have these everywhere just sitting here. Yeah, we're doing a good job. I love it.
No, we should shovel another 100 million to homelessness NGOs. That's a way better use of the money. I can't believe I found that wedge for you. This is going to be great. I'm just going to fucking crowbar you whenever you bitch about stadium subsidies. Number one stadium subsidy advocate from here on out. Patreon.com/where not wrong is where you need to go if you want to get a bonus episode of this program. And we got a good one here. This is a story that I have to tell you has been all over. Like I
Another one giving me joy.
I think I saw it lead the national news. And that is the fact that the the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool, after attempted renovations, has turned green with an algae bloom. There are now pro-algae supporters that are demonstrating at the pool. It is a bizarre story, and we will get into every bit of it on our Patreon episode. You can only get it if you go and support us. Patreon.com/We're Not Wrong. Sir Keir Starmer has resigned this morning, concluding that he lacks the support to survive a labor leadership challenge. Pressure has grown since Andy Burnham's Makerfield by-election victory, which gave him a common seat and a platform to challenge the leadership. This came after reports over the weekend by The Telegraph and others that cabinet ministers had turned against Starmer. Senior figures had urged him to set out a departure timetable, which he did on Monday morning. Other outlets report that let me ask you, this next prime minister will be the 7th since 2016. Is there anything that can make the United Kingdom happy?
Listen, what you need to understand,
aside from it coming home,
what you need to understand is that America has bull riding and Britain has being the prime minister. That is their game, is how long can I stay prime minister? And if you can do it for 2 years, you win. If you can do it for 6 weeks, pretty good. It's like getting thrown off of a mechanical bull at a place. Yeah, they do flip. They flip prime ministers a lot, but this
is abnormal.
Yes, no.
There have been times where I think I saw like they went like 30 years with like two of them.
Yeah,
Wasn't Tony Blair there for a decade?
Yeah,
yeah, and Churchill. It was like Churchill for 10 years, and then another guy came in, and then they went, nah, Churchill. Yeah, no. So it is flipping all the time. They've had a ton of them. But they're not flipping governments. They're flipping the prime minister. With the conservatives prior to Labor, they had 4 or 5 different prime ministers. I think I was briefly prime minister, but it was, it's like they're swapping the coach of the football team, hoping that they will get better results. In answer to your question, Justin, I don't think that there's anything that will well, there is something that could fix it. Like what I find interesting about this is the British hate their government.
Yeah.
They have really, really low popularity with their government. You saw this recently with Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer wins the last election, or more accurately, the Conservatives lose the last election. Keir Starmer has a big spike in popularity, and then it plummets like
immediately
3 days after nothing happened other than the fact that he was sworn in and moved into 10 Downing Street, and then everybody hated him. They all just hate whoever's running it. Now, I think that's healthy, because I think you probably should just hate whoever is in charge of your government, or at least be very skeptical of them. I think the only thing that would really make them like the government is if they got a strong economy. I think that I don't know that there's any specific political wins that would do it. I find it interesting that Britain has kind of this is like if progressives won America, like single payer healthcare, funding of the arts, funding of public broadcasting, gun control, caps on campaign contributions, rail systems, stronger union. This is Bernie Sanders' dream, from what I can tell. It hasn't manifested, and I think that that's because ultimately people are not going to like their government if they have a weak economy, and they do have a weak economy. It's been sluggish since 2008. It didn't recover the same way the United States did during the recession. They've got a fairly high unemployment rate, or at least people that are not employed. I've seen different numbers on this. And then the people that are employed are paying very high taxes right now, coupled with low economic growth. So if forthcoming presumed Prime Minister Andy Burnham can turn the country around and have strong economic growth and increased wages for everybody and higher jobs, then I think that they would really like him. But outside of outside of the economy being good, I don't think any prime minister will ever be popular.
Considering he is running on the idea that neoliberalism has killed Britain and he
Yes.
is going to be the antidote to it.
I am
don't
not holding my
imagine
breath
that
on this. Yes.
Bringing up the GDP is going to be his number one goal. Jen, we both share a fairly low opinion of the United States House of Representatives, specifically as it has had leadership. But even as we understand that clown car to be particularly in a chaotic phase, they've had less speakers of the House than the UK has had prime ministers. It's pretty chaotic over there. What is your make of it from this side of the pond?
Well, I think Andrew kind of already said it. You guys kind of forced me to learn about this morning. And what I now know is that Keir Starmer, the prime minister, is likely to be replaced by someone who's in his party. So
Yes.
it's the party keeps control. And I kind of look at our own situation here. And I do kind of, yes, it's chaotic, but if the guy on top is not leading very well, for the party to be able to like replace them, I mean, first of all, we saw the Democrats did it with their election. But I'm wondering in this moment, if the Republicans had the ability to swap out Trump chaos for whatever JD Vance brings, if they would do it, if they had that ability. And I think that I would appreciate that. Like, I don't like the Trump chaos. And I think there's a lot of people in the Republican Party, like people who, I don't know, staked their whole careers on free trade. And then all of a sudden this guy is doing tariffs and they have to defend that. The botching of the Iran, there's like a lot of reasons why you could see the Republican Party being like, okay, let's be done with this guy. But because we have the inability to do that, they stick with the chaos. So when I look at the UK, is it chaotic? Sure. But why keep a failure for 2 extra years? So I don't know. I'm kind of curious. I'm like sitting back and watching how it happens, but it's not like they're losing the power. It's not like Keir Starmer resigns and now all of a sudden the opposite party is getting that power. They're just within their own club picking a different person to lead them. It's less chaotic than it looks.
I don't know, a little bit, but part of the reason why they're switching horses is because they are afraid that polling will become so untenable that there will be a national call for elections. Like that is the one big difference in the UK versus the United States, is that we have elections on a fixed, rigid schedule. They have them on like, you have to call them by a certain time, but you can call them anytime that you want. And if the polling is so overwhelming that the people have no faith in a Labor government and they really, really, really want an election to put in new people, like that does move the needle, because there'll be Labor politicians who will drop out of the party and say, yes, I also want that, because they think that they can move the needle in either another party, or they're happy flushing out the leadership of their own.
I think that they're going to have a big upset here pretty quick. So prior to this election that they just had, I was very skeptical of this forthcoming apocalyptic reform wave that all of my British friends are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that I'm skeptical is, as an American, whenever third parties initially crest, like there's excitement about that. Back in 2016, Gary Johnson was polling at 10% 6 months before the election, maybe 15, 20%, wow, maybe. And then, as you get to the election day, everybody chickens out and votes for whatever party they're ethnically attached to. And so the third party candidates, the same like this happened with RFK. RFK was polling at like 10%, and then it plummeted to 0.1 before he dropped out. So I was looking at reform like, it's not going to happen. No, look at this here. The election that just happened was mostly councils, and then
hold on, reforms like the Brexit right wing people. Okay,
exactly. That's Nigel Farage's. That is the spiritual successor to the Brexit Party. Nigel Farage is the head of it.
So it's like their MAGA.
Yes.
In the populist wave.
It's a populist party. Yeah, it's a populist nationalist party. Yeah,
immigration hardliners.
And I think that this is part of it is, well, hold on, I'll put a note on that. So mostly this was councils, this election. Like this wasn't a parliamentary election. The reason that Burnham, that Jen alluded to earlier, won was that the previous member of parliament stepped down explicitly so he could run to get into parliament to become prime minister. But it was a special election for him. Reform picked up they had 2 seats prior to this.
This was the election that happened a few months ago.
Yeah.
That was essentially their midterms.
Yeah. And they've now picked up 1,453 additional seats, which is a lot. They're picking up a lot. And if the local elections are any indication of what is to come, they're going to have a massive, massive amount coming in. I think that Burnham is playing the old rule book that I've been playing for a very long time, where we're fighting about economics, because that is kind of what he's running on. Is Thatcher ruined the country? This is the old fight: is do you want to have liberalism, what we now call neoliberalism, or are you opposed to economics, like Jeremy Corbyn? That fault line seems to be going. I think that the big fault line that's coming up, which is exactly what Reform is running on, is not going to be economics. It's going to be immigrants. It's going to be nationalism versus open borders or porous borders and that kind of thing. And I don't think Burnham's not running as an antithesis to reform and an antithesis to nationalist and anti-immigration. He's running as, I'm going to stop neoliberalism. That's the last battle. And I think they're going to get caught flat-foot. He'll become prime minister in July, and he'll be out at the next election. Yeah,
the question is when that is, right? Because I think you have 2 years on the clock.
I think that's right.
Technically. I don't know anything about Burnham. Everything I've learned about Burnham, I've learned in the last 2 weeks since the by-election, where there was the conversations about how long Keir Starmer was going to last. Here's what I've learned since then. I have learned that she sure does have a political worldview flexibility. I think the joke that I heard on a podcast was a Corbynite, a Blairite, and a Starmerite walk into a bar, and the bartender says, "What do you have to drink, Andy?" But yet he's running in this kind of very populist, kind of Bernie Sanders progressive wing. I don't know if that's what the country really wants. I don't know what the UK really wants. I do think that what seems to be troubling them is that they keep running into the fact that they're going to have to make some like really hard decisions.
Yeah, they might actually need to change something other than, is he northerner or southerner?
Yeah.
Is he authentic? Like I think this is a big part of this, is just Keir Starmer's lawyerly. That's why he's not terribly popular, because I don't know that he could even do that much for this massive, massive system that they've got. But he's very lawyerly. He comes off very insider. He comes off chief of staff of Gavin Newsom, who's been made for politics his whole life and is an insider. You know who also is an insider? Andy Burnham.
Yeah,
he was a member. He was shadow secretary for years. He ran for prime minister. Got beat out by Corbyn. But he was there during the Blair. But he's a northern guy. He's got a thicker accent. He seems like he's one of us that hangs out at the pub, and people care about that. So yeah,
I think we're headed to more chaos.
If I had to bet
on that island, I don't think that they're done with the chaos. I think that they are that they're going to keep. Because I think that I think that they obviously have an issue with immigration that's animating a lot of the public, and that's the reason why not only is there a Reform Party, but there are people who believe the Reform Party is already going too soft. And so they have formed another party called Restore, which is to the right
extra
of
MAGA.
Reform.
Make MAGA again. British.
Yeah, because they're pissed off that too many conservatives are jumping ship from the Conservative Party and joining Reform. And they're like, oh, this is just going to be the same old shit. We're going to start an even more pure kids only thing.
But does that fracturing help like the lefty pinko labor people?
All of my friends in London will tell you, yes, that is our savior. Our savior is that the populists are fracturing, and so that will keep them out of power. I think that that's wishful thinking for them. I think that this is a train light that is like getting closer and closer and brighter and brighter.
I'd say the thing that's probably going to be an issue for the bedwetting leftists over there, Jen, is that Reform is not a tiny government. We believe in Margaret Thatcher style economic liberalism party. It's an anti-immigrant, Britain First Party, but the economics is a secondary consideration. So you do have people that are a part of that coalition that are very libertarian or very small government, but it's not the primary impetus of it. I mean, it's like what you're seeing over here, like J.D. Vance likes Matt Stoller, or at least tends to be in that camp, right? Like you've got like Josh Hawley and guys like that are conservative, that are like anti-corporate. Like, how's that work? It's because that's not the thing that they care about the most. So with reform, it's going to be hard to outflank them economically if you're a progressive in the Labor Party, I think, because they can match you on that and go, yeah, we think we should have higher taxes on the rich and we should have more government funding. We just don't want foreigners over here. So I don't know that they're going to be able to zag past them economically on that. Maybe, I don't know. Like at the same time, Green is doing better over there. Like Green's beating out the Lib Dems in Scotland and I think maybe England in the local elections, which would indicate that there is pressure from the progressive sides of things economically to keep labor from getting soft. So if you're worried about that, that might be going on. But I think reform is probably going to do pretty well.
I got a pitch for the UK. I don't know the name of the person, but I got a kind of person. Because you got a lot of people over here that are in America that are experiencing a place where they got to work with tight margins. Sometimes it gets a little chaotic. And there's a lot of people there that are acting out of pocket that need to be put in their place. I would call for us to ask the United Kingdom to open a Waffle House in one of their embassies and put a Waffle House night manager in as their prime minister. That is experience and work ethic that all of the Three Lions supporters that are here in America right now, you've seen it firsthand. You know what can be possible. Imagine if the NHS were run as efficiently as a Waffle House. How many pounds would that put in your pocket? Huh?
And
Think
on your
about
ass.
We're not wrongpod@gmail.com. We talked about dinosaurs. I forgot that we talked about dinosaurs and fossils on the podcast. I know.
Why?
Oh, yeah. Because I brought up the various state dinosaurs.
Yes. We got a lot of these. American dinosaur rights. T-Rex fossils are found in the western United States in Montana, Wyoming, and South Dakota. Allosaurus, a smaller but faster, more agile predator, was found in Utah, but Utah already had the Utah raptor as its state dinosaur, and the Browning 1911 as the state firearm. As much as I love Utah's state flag, I really wish we could have used a raptor holding a handgun as the same background instead of the beehive.
That'd be pretty good. Was it Mississippi that replaced their flag about 6 years ago, and they had just an open call, and like the only stipulations were it had to say Mississippi on it, and it had to have like a blue background or something, and like the flag that was at the top of the polls was called Old Skeeter, which was just a giant mosquito that said Mississippi. And like the state government had to be like, no, we're not going to do that one. And I was like, no, this is like Mississippi. Have your Bodie McBoatface moment.
Yeah. Tully and Arn writes, the Illinois state fossil is the Tully monster, which is way cooler than Oklahoma's basic bitch dinosaur.
Oh, bullshit. That, you look at that Tully monster and you're like, what are you even doing? You're just a penguin with teeth, fucker.
Ooh,
Big City
words.
Thunder Lizard writes, no state has the T-Rex as its state dinosaur, but the T-Rex is indeed a thoroughly American dinosaur. It's found exclusively throughout the Western United States. Here's the key here. I'm a research associate at the New York State Museum, and I'm currently the foremost expert in the Massachusetts state dinosaur Podokesaurus holokinesis, which I've been studying for 3 years. The only known specimen was destroyed in a fire in 1917, so I'm working from old photos, drawings, and descriptions. It was also the first dinosaur found and named by a woman, Mignon Talbot of Mount Holyoke College. We don't have a state dinosaur here in New York because the Mesozoic dinosaur age fossils are extremely rare. However, earlier this year, I personally discovered the first dinosaur fossil found in New York in over 60 years. 2 small footprints, and my team and I are preparing to do more exploring this summer to look for more.
This person's a fucking badass.
I know,
I'm
so
proud
cool.
you're listening to our show. Thank you. Also, I'm sorry that your dinosaur burned up. I'm going to keep my eyes open for a replacement.
Yeah.
Just when I'm out and about, I'm going to look for one. But thank you for writing in.
I'm just curious, like, how fast you ran to the computer to be like, dinosaur topic.
I know.
I'm going to write in.
I'm just hoping that the private jet brokers run just as fast.
We do want to take a trip to Vegas this fall for Andrew's
do.
first gambling experience. If someone wants to sponsor this and have us be high rollers, we will absolutely
Although,
take
by
you
the
up
way,
on that.
Honestly, I might be able. I mean, I'm friends with a couple of people that are pilots. I might be able to line this up. But it'd be great if somebody could own a jet.
Yeah,
could step
we
in.
really need to be bankrolled here.
Yeah.
I also need a professional pilot. I'm not going to go on some plane with a magician friend of yours who got a pilot's license and a like, no, we're not doing this.
Fair. Totally fair.
Merch writes, we want more merch. When is the skeleton full of slurs t-shirt dropping? Okay. We need to have a conversation about this because
know.
it
One of
has
us needs to do
been a constant. People are like, we've starved the people. I keep joking about the fact that we're going to have to do a merch thing, hoping that eventually people will stop emailing about the merch so I won't have to do it. But I think we might have to do a thing. I don't know. I just don't know what.
The company that I've been using for Congressional Dish, ever since my artist died a few years ago, I've completely ignored it because I just like can't handle it. But I'm better now and the company has been great. So it's like really easy. All three of us could have the password. We upload whatever designs we want. They ship it out like one at a time, so we don't have to order in bulk or do any of the shipping. Like, there is a solution here. We just need to do it. And I'll have the capacity for this when I get to Barcelona in July. But yeah, all three of us want to do it. All three of us don't want to physically do the work. That's what's happening here.
That's what's happening. Although I did a design of gasoline as a psyop.
Nice. Excellent. Yeah.
The idea that gasoline is a psyop is very, very funny to me. Memorandum of Understanding, reach with Iraq was our number one topic, and ironically didn't get a lot of emails, I guess because nobody fucking really understands what's happening and everything changes every 5 seconds. But Jonesing for lower gas prices writes, the Cato Institute has been tracking the Jones Act waivers that have been in place since near the beginning of the most recent hostilities with Iran. You can find their tracker at cato.org/Jones Act waiver tracker. I would say just Google it. But yeah, Heaton, this has been one of your
I fucking hate the Jones Act.
Your hobby
it's
horse.
so fucking stupid.
It's suspended.
Good.
Yeah.
Can we just suspend it forever? Because we do this every time there's anything.
You should be pushing for it.
Yeah. I shall. I'll go. You know what's funny? Like the only lobby that I've ever personally pissed off that's come after me is the Jones Act lobby.
Who is it?
It's like
Big Ship.
It's the American Shipping Manufacturers Association or something like that. But like, man, like, which fucking bring it. Like if I have to pick a group of enemies, I think I can handle. It's this one.
Yeah.
But no, this happens every time. Every time there's a hurricane, we go, oh, you know what's actually raising prices really high? The Jones Act. We should suspend this.
Give us a
explain what it is again.
Explainer.
Yeah. The Jones Act is a protectionist measure that requires that all shipping that takes place in between American ports must be done on an American ship that is manufactured in the United States, manned by an American company, and flying the American flag. What that means is that if there is a Chinese ship that sails from China to Los Angeles, it can't just swing down to Hawaii on the way back and then go back to China. And it can't pick up anything while it's in Los Angeles and then drop it off in Hawaii over there. It can just do this one-shot thing. Everything has to be taken off that, then put on additional ships and then sent over there. This is part of why it's a problem in Puerto Rico, is you can't just have ships doing trade on their own schedule. This sounds random, but it actually does really increase prices for particularly anybody that's on an island, but it raises prices for everybody. It's dumb. The idea behind it was that it was going to build up our merchant marine fleet so that if we went to war with Germany again, we'd have more ships available. The data's not good on that. It doesn't do anything. It ends up just being a handout to American shipping companies who keep the money and do not pass the savings on to you.
And now we're taking German tourists and getting them handies from country stores.
Yeah. We're not going to go to war with them for another 10, 15 years.
Not doing anything. We barely beat the Ivory Coast anyway. SpaceX IPO. Sell shovels, right? Samsung is by far the largest Android phone manufacturer for the United States, and they supply upwards of 65% of the displays that go into Apple's iPhone every year. For XAI, it's a perfectly viable business model to sell wholesale inference to Anthropic and sell Grok as a service to individual and corporate AI customers. High-end estimates for the construction of XAI's two biggest data centers, Colossus 1 and 2, are around $4 billion for Colossus 1 and $18 billion for Colossus 2. But Anthropic is leasing Colossus 1 for upwards of $1.25 billion a month with a guaranteed 6-month lease and a 90-day renewal thereafter. Most corporations amortize a capital expenditure like a data center over 10 years, but Colossus 1 is paying for itself in 4 months. I would agree with your math here. I'm not saying that there is not money to be made in hyperscaling. There is a reason why people are trying to build data centers as fast as possible, much to the consternation of people. What the hyperscaling is not why the SpaceX IPO is valued at over $1 trillion. So the SpaceX IPO is valued at over $1 trillion because the possibility of the Frontier Lab owning like a portion of all computing is that valuable. Like, so yes, hyperscaling is effective, but it's the difference between creating like the brackets or component parts for an iPhone and actually selling the iPhone. And what XAI is valued at is selling the iPhone. So it's good. I think that it was necessary to do it. I think it calmed the waters on some of the Wall Street institutional figures, but that's not why the upper end is as high as it is. The upper end is as high as it is because XAI is being treated like it's a frontier lab. Although I think that the bullish reason to go long on SpaceX is not the AI stuff. It's owning the pathway to the stars. If you believe that there's a lot of money to be made in space, which I do.
You didn't buy any stock?
No, I'm going to wait till IPOs in general are
they tend to jump up and then they kind of come down 6 months later anyway.
It's not I'd rather get it cheaper.
Yeah.
And so once the lockouts are done in 6 months and you're going to see a bunch of people take a bunch of money out of that stock and it's going to be at a different level and I'll see where it is and then I'll buy it. I'm more bullish on Anthropic and OpenAI.
When are they doing their IPO?
Sometime soon if Anthropic can get out of their fucking way. Getting their model, getting their company declared a supply chain risk and their models export controlled because they can't talk to people. In and out brings us on home. I was frankly shocked at Jen's response to the space sex discussion in your latest episode. Elon Musk has fathered dozens of children with several women, so it's only natural that he'd look to his next unconquered frontier to spread his seed, space. Jen seems unwilling to even consider how this could benefit the rest of mankind, opening up new possibilities and positions that were previously unattainable by those bound by man's oldest enemy, gravity. Finally, an average person like me could attempt the event horizon, docking the shuttle, or even destination Uranus.
Oh my God.
This is a really good.
This was a
email.
very funny email, and credit to the writer. They went on for another 4 paragraphs that wound up being a diatribe about the Ghostbusters remake. So
okay,
I didn't want to read the whole thing, but just know, emailer, you wrote a very, very funny email.
Emailer, for real. I'm giving you a homework assignment. I want you to write a romantic, what do you call it? Erotic novel or erotic novella. Write it, because you've clearly got the innuendo down. I think you should write a erotic sci-fi novella, and
like
and then,
Elon in space.
If you know what, truly, if because I've brought up Chuck Tingle on the show before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like if you were a little bit careful, if it were like Elgon, like Elgon's shuttle docking space penis adventure. Yeah. If you get the title really good and you put that on Amazon, like you could potentially make a lot of money.
The freaks will come out. They'll buy it. We're Not Wrong is a production of Dog and Pony Show Audio. We are edited by Will Saddleberg on PX3 this week. I have no idea what's happening. We are recording this on Monday because I have to go out of the state and I can't do it at a normal time. So I don't even have guests, man. Fucking crapshoot. Iran, probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's fucking happening.
Maybe I'll do
out
it
there. I'm probably gonna fucking hijack you. You joke about it. I'm just gonna start recording and then have it go. Keaton, what's popping?
I am interviewing a guy named Zubi, who is a Nigerian British rapper on the Political Orphanage this week. I brought him on initially because I'm wrapping up my limited run series on company towns, and he grew up in one, and I wanted to talk to him about that. But we get into some really interesting stuff about countries that aren't a part of Europe or America. How do they do things in terms of crime, immigration, and diversity? I feel like we oftentimes get stuck in this very, very Atlantic-centric worldview of places that speak English or are Europe. And he gets into all of these other topics. It was a really, really fun chat. I'm glad I interviewed him. Zubi on the Political Orphanage.
Look at that. Jen, what's sizzling on the dish?
So the episode about everything that happened in May is now out. If you're someone who has been waiting for Congress to put a check on the Trump administration, May is where the tide started to turn and we started to see that happen. They also passed a few new laws, and then we have some new members of the Trump administration and some new judges who are problematic. And so I tell you about those because there's so many that like we don't hear about most of them, but
Yeah.
a few of these are doozies. So yeah, check that out. It's on Congressional Dish.
All right. And that wraps it up for us today. For Andrew Heaton and Jen Briney, I'm Justin Robert Young, reminding you that we're not wrong. Keir Starmer's future aspirations are. Kicking the old fuck when he's down.
Dog and Pony Show Audio.